How's it going? Welcome to week 1 of the VDL Pickems. Pretty much, if you don't know what this is we go through and we just kind of talk about the matchups. I don't really have, like, anything in mind. I didn't look over this too much. I just set up the graphic, and here we are. I am with my boy Cuddles today, if you want to say hi.
What's up?
He's just going to be going through with me and just bouncing ideas off of each other. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Excited to bounce ideas. Excited to let Cprime know he's going to lose this week from the official standpoint. I know he's been doing well in the pro circuit these days, but it's his time to fall.
All right, well, I think that's the second matchup, so we'll get around to that. But first, we got to start off with Ardas versus Tom. Off rip, Chien-Pao looks very scary.
That is correct. Chien-Pao is very scary.
Terrifying.
However, there are 3 regenerators on Ardas's team.
There's
are so much,
but
all so
3
much defensive.
All 3 of them are weak to Chien-Pao.
They are, but he's also got Screamtail on that side as well.
How does Ardas stop Swords Dance Chien-Pao? Because it's faster than his entire team that's not scarfed.
That is. Yes.
So that's just
the really only way for him. If it's scarf, that means it's also not boots. So if he can get a rocks up with a Screamtail, that's a good chunk already.
No, I'm saying like.
Oh, you're saying if Ardas is scarf, got it.
Yeah, that's the only way he has something that outspeeds. So like you can just run heavy duty boots, or if, depending on the calc, maybe a life orb or something. Swords Dance and Ice Cube.
Yeah,
Ice Cube takes the hit. Or Sacred Sword probably does a ton to register.
Como might take a hit.
I don't. Maybe, but
yeah, maybe.
I'm actually pulling up a calc right now. Now I'm curious. Ew, why is my? They made Showdown calcs have dark mode.
Yeah, mine's been on dark mode for a while.
Interesting. I don't know why I said ew, because I like dark mode. It's just like I wasn't expecting it.
It was a shock, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than the Chien-Pao, he's got even more speed with Mega Beedrill.
So at +2, so if a Sword Dance is off, it doesn't live in Icicle Crash. Let me check Ice Spinner. Yeah, at +2, even a max defense one, Como does not live. So
maybe we'll see a Chien-Pao sweep.
Maybe, and even Ice Shard is gonna hit hard.
Yeah, and Como, even with a scarf, I don't think outspeeds it.
I'll find out for you right now because I have Como right here.
I mean, does it get Vacuum Wave or Mach Punch?
I don't believe so. No. It does. It does outspeed if it's scarfed. I think it has to run Jolly though. Yeah, it has to run Jolly. So I mean, that means also you can run, maybe a Scarf Torn or.
What's a Screamtail? Does it die to everything as well?
I feel like the problem with Screamtail is that it wouldn't do enough offense. Ooh, actually,
no. What I was thinking, maybe if he gets a Reflect Up, half the damage.
Okay.
It might be able to. That'd be my only other solution to the Chien-Pao, but then he's also got to deal with.
I don't know if I'm crazy
5 of the
here,
other 9,
but
8.
It looks like if you run max HP at +2, it doesn't OHKO. Not that that really says much, but it can live one. So Dazzling Gleam does over half.
Okay.
With no investment.
What about a Drain Punch?
From Screamtail?
Yeah.
Does it get good strain punch?
It does.
I don't know much about Scream. It does less than Dazzling Gleam.
Boo.
Which is it's because it's timid.
I mean, it would make sense because it's not stab, but I was hoping with the ×4 maybe he could recover all the HP he lost and then live another hit.
No, I'm shocked how little it takes. Like I thought at +2 this thing would get destroyed, but that HP kind of carries 115.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting matchup with the Chin Pao and really not a solid answer for it.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Looking at the rest of it though, like I feel like besides the Chin Pao, Ardas has a very good matchup.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of mind games when it comes to that Rotom and Ting Lu though. Because you know it eats the electric moves, but
right, it does eat, but it also.
I mean, Amoonguss handles it though pretty.
Oh yeah.
Pretty well.
I'm thinking maybe Ardas could throw on a Focus Sash on something and live the Oko and on the Chin Pao. That's another solution, I suppose. But again, there's just the sheer power that Chin Pao has against this team. It's gonna be tough for Ardas to really overcome that.
The only way is running something Scarf, and even then you got to be careful of Ice Shard. If you run like a Torn or Thunderous, Ice Shard at +2 is still gonna do a ton.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's Terra Dark, so I don't think he gets the Ice boost to Ice Shard. Yeah, it's Terra Ice.
Terra Ice, Terra what?
Fire.
Fire. Okay. Interesting.
So, maybe to hit Registeel, but I feel like Sacred Sword just does.
Yeah, Sacred Sword
probably does enough.
Yeah, and then...
Scarf Chandelure doesn't have the worst matchup, but I don't think that would outspeed the Chin Pao.
It's close. No, because if Como-O needs Jolly and Scarf to outspeed it, then I don't think there's a way for Chandelure to outspeed it.
No, Chandelure does.
Does it need Jolly? Or
Timid.
Another plus speed? Timid?
Yeah, it can get away with, I'm doing it now. Needs 204 speed EVs with Timid Nature to outspeed a max speed Jolly Chin Pao. And I mean, if you look, like, what's the Shadow Ball switch in that's not Chin Pao? And even then, it takes 35-ish% roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Flamethrower blows it away, but like everything else, like, doesn't want Shadow Ball. I mean, even Flamethrower does decent against, you know, like the Gudra.
Yeah, the thing that'll probably tank it the best is either Landorus or Rotom.
Unless it's Assault Vest Gudra.
Yeah. Just with any move that Chandelure could have, I think the safest switch in would be the Landorus or the Rotom.
Yeah, probably the Rotom.
I think Tom takes this one 4-0.
You're even gonna say 4-0?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I agree. I do think Tom comes out on top here. I don't see how, unless Chin Pao somehow doesn't come, which I would be blown away.
Yeah, I would be astonished if Chin Pao didn't come, and I mean, Ardas does have a lot of defensive utilization, but I don't think there's enough speed and power to overcome.
Especially when
Chin Pao. I think too many resources will be. Yeah, I think too many resources will be need to be used against Chin Pao, and then once Chin Pao is taken care of, I think Tom just has too much left over to deal with what's left of Ardas.
Yeah, and Tom can even use everything else to break down the team and then just send out Chien-Pao to sweep, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because even Choice Band would go to town on this team.
Oh, yeah. Especially after everything's been weakened.
Yeah. You just run defog on Lando if you don't run boots.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's not like Ardas' team wants to take hazard damage either, though.
Right. Very similar speed.
I mean, you got the fastest mod in the game. What do you...
I mean, outside of the R2 tops, they're pretty similar across the board.
I mean, you're not wrong. Wow. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. So realistically, without bias, do you think you win this week?
Without bias, I think Cprime brings Dragapult, Aloe, Volcanion.
Volcanion has to come for Palafin. That's just kind of a given. I mean, but Aloe, I think... I don't know if you need both. He needs both, you know? Because they both take on Palafin, and they both lose to Alecki.
Right, but it also takes out Garchomp and nearly all the moths.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
Ice Beam or Liquidation or whatever it has, Hydro Surf or whatever.
Hydro Surf?
I don't know. I've never used it. I just know it's
Steam Eruption.
Yeah. Look, what is that Kyogre move?
Origin Pulse.
No, the other
Water
one.
Spout.
Or no, yeah, Water Spout. Yeah. I
Steam
don't think
Eruption
Kartana comes.
No, I don't think so.
Zapdos, Nidoking,
considering Moth is 1 point faster, it can't come.
Yeah, it's gonna be Dragapult, Zapdos, Mega Gardevoir, Volcanion, Aloe, and either Terrakion or Nidoking.
Terrakion looks really good if you ignore Palafin and Garchomp.
Yeah.
I mean, Slitherwing also could hit it pretty hard. I don't think Terrakion really has a super effective move to hit it. Aerial Ace, maybe.
It doesn't get Stone Edge?
That's not super effective to Slitherwing. Slitherwing's fighting.
Oh, I was thinking the rest of the moths.
Oh yeah, he definitely gets Stone Edge. What moths are coming?
When will this be posted?
Oh, beforehand. I wouldn't say your whole strategy, but
I can safely say at least 3 moths will be there.
3 of them?
At least 3.
Okay. I'll put.
I mean, it has to at least be 3 because I only have 3 other mons to.
That's fair, but I really don't count like. Obviously, they're all moths, but like the second row, Volcarona and its 2 other forms, they're moths, but they're not like the other ones.
Okay, yeah, there's an obvious tier list of moths. We have the Volcaronas, then we have the middle tier, and then we have the bottom tier, which they've already been arranged.
I mean, that's fair, yeah. I don't think you bring webs this week. I will say that.
I wasn't planning on it just because of how similar everything was.
And plus, like, Dragapult gets Clear Body, Kartana, Volcanion, and Zapdos all defog, and I think Zapdos and Volcanion can do that very easily.
Yeah,
this week.
that's what I was doing with my prep, and also Iron Moth base outspeeds everything but Dragapult, so there's no really rhyme or reason for me to run webs.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think Kartana can't come just because of Iron Moth.
Well, yeah.
Mainly. I mean, it doesn't match up very well, but Iron Moth really shuts it down with being 1 point faster.
Mm-hmm. And then the Dragapult is Terra, Ghost, and what else?
Ghost and Fairy? 1 second. Yeah.
Ghost and Fairy. Now the question is, does he bring a physical or does he bring a special Dragapult? That's what I've been debating in my prep time.
I think physical matches up better.
I was thinking
team.
physical as well, just because Dragon Darts is very good.
Very good, yeah.
Because it would break any of the focus sashes that I could have on him. Not that I would run focus sash on any but Masquerain.
Regieleki's Terra Fairy is really good this week too, especially for Dragapult.
Oh, but everyone says that it was a mistake and I should have chose Ice.
Well, Ice would have hit Dragapult just the same.
Yeah, but I didn't have any Fairy. I have Ice. I have access to Ice. I don't have access to Fairy other than one of the moths with Dazzling Gleam.
Do any of them get Dazzling Gleam?
I think Volcarona does.
Are you sure about that?
One of them does. One of the Volcaronas gets it.
It has to be Moth then. Iron Moth. Yep, it's Iron Moth.
And yeah. So I figured why not? Why not give it the Fairy?
I think that the one Nidoking shuts down Regieleki pretty well.
Yeah, my biggest hiccup will be Volcanion.
I can see that.
Because really the only way to deal with it is Regieleki.
Garchomp can Earthquake it though.
Yeah, it could, but that means I'd have to bring Garchomp and not a Moth.
Okay, fair enough. I think Cprime wins this matchup.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand. And the only way I can go is up from the rankings, so obviously Cprime is favored by anyone who's watching this video, really. Just in on paper matchup. So I know in the past when Cprime and I have played, we've only played once, I believe. So, and I think I beat him 3-0. So
you did beat him because he was terrified of your team last season.
Yeah. And he was terrified of it going in the playoffs, and then I got wrecked by Feathers. So.
Yeah, and then he proceeded to get destroyed as well. So,
he got more wrecked by Feathers.
He got 6-0'd.
Yeah.
I was watching the match live and I was mad, right? And he calls me afterwards and I said, you know, I'm not mad you lost. I said I'm mad you got 6-0'd.
Yeah, so I'm it'll be a good matchup, I think. I think the team isn't given enough credit, but I understand why.
You just got to prove everyone wrong.
And yeah, it'll prove everyone wrong, just like I had to do with the Steam team.
With the what?
The Steam team.
What is that?
The Sun and Rain.
Oh, that one.
Steam.
Yeah. And I mean, it worked out, I think.
Yeah, it worked out. And this one will too. And I'm excited for it to start. So, unbiased opinion, I would obviously have to say Cprime just because there's answers for everything as opposed to vice versa. But I don't know, you know, there's a wild card about the Moth, so.
The last thing I'll say is that if Volcanion wasn't on this team, Palafin would go to town.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Okay. Glad we're in agreement there.
Yep.
Okay. We got Frobe versus Recordman, my buddy Tyler. Off rip. That Zygarde, 10%, is a little scary for.
It's
for
pretty
Frobe.
cheeky. It's pretty cheeky there. I think the Chi-Yu is possibly gonna tear it up because of the sun.
Yeah, if I didn't think about that. If he brings Sun, That thing's a menace.
I mean, Hisui and Lil gets chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
So,
I was about to say that.
And it's part fighting,
team.
so it'll outspeed the Chi-Yu.
I mean, it'll outspeed everything with chlorophyll.
Well, yeah, but it's most dangerous against the Chi-Yu. I'm not necessarily worried about it against Tapu Koko or Mega Glade.
Yeah, Tyler's got to be careful of bringing the Koko when Treads is sitting there.
Yep, Iron Treads is there as well. But he doesn't have to run electric terrain.
No, but I feel like Koko's power level is severely weakened without it. Like, it's just not...
Yeah.
Unless you're bringing it, like, screens defog, like, then it's alright. But, like, electric terrain is really what makes Koko... At least his electric moves do decent damage.
Yeah. I think Weezing comes this week.
For, does normal Weezing get neutralizing gas?
Pretty sure. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I think it does. Yeah, that would be pretty good, actually. The only thing that really threatens it is the Necrozma.
Yeah.
And if it's not Levitate, the Treads.
And then I think Rillaboom also comes.
Yeah, Rillaboom has a great matchup.
I think it comes with the Solar... I think it gets Solar Blade, doesn't it?
That's a great question. I don't know. Find out right now. No.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Well then, that changes what I think. For Frobe though, I definitely think Mega Charizard, Treads, Hisui and Lilligant, and Walking Wake are for sure coming.
Yeah, I think those for 100%. Sylveon, I think, doesn't look too bad either.
It doesn't. It's a toss-up, really. I think Hisui and Arcanine might make an appearance just to utilize its fire typing in the sun.
Maybe, but I also can say maybe Necrozma just for a little more bulk. Because like I said, that Zygarde is... I mean, if it gets a Dragon Dance up, 1,000 arrows...
What is Chi-Yu's other Terra typing?
Chi-Yu is... Fire and Grass.
Interesting.
Doesn't help too much here.
It doesn't, but it does take away its fighting weakness.
Yeah, and then the Walking Wake is Water Steel.
Interesting. I mean, even if the Glamora might come as well, but...
You think so?
Yes, because these got a lot of physical attackers.
Yeah, but if you think, like, Weezing comes, I don't know, it just absorbs the...
Yeah, that one... Yeah.
And I think Weezing has to come for that reason.
Yeah, it does have to come for that reason.
Unless he brings in Empoleon with Defog, because it's also immune.
Right, the steel.
I think Empoleon, besides, I mean, like, defensively, it has a decent matchup against, like, the Walking Wake and the Sylveon.
Mm-hmm. I'm disappointed Frobe didn't get more past Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah,
to utilize the photosynthesis.
But like I kind of said in the power rankings, like Charizard's just not a good sunsetter for anyone but himself.
Yeah.
If you could put a Heat Rock on, it would be a different story, but... And I mean, maybe Necrozma gets Sunny Day or something, but like, that's just not the most optimal thing.
Yeah, he could have even got a Prankster with Sunny Day with a, like, Sableye and then throw a Heat Rock on it.
Yeah, I think maybe like I think Klefki gets it as well.
Klefki, yeah. Yeah, there's a few things. I think it just depends on how the Chi-Yu and Walking Wake go. I think whoever's goes out first will end up losing. However, Recordman has more on the higher end than Frobe does. Frobe's more in the middle, I believe, with their Pokemon tiers. like where they are just at power level. And then I think Recordman's power is more on the higher end of that, and I think that gives him the edge. I think he's just got a generally more powerful team, being his top 6 versus the top 6 Frobe has.
I can agree with that. The Mega Glade only being outsped by Kilowattrel looks pretty nice too.
Yeah, that is nice too. But Kilowattrel, I mean, it does get Hurricane, but
isn't Hurricane only 50% in the sun? Or am I
50% in the sun, and then and then doesn't miss in the rain.
But doesn't have a rain setter.
Right, doesn't have a rain setter. It does get Air Slash.
But that is so much weaker than.
Yeah, it is. It is so much weaker. It does get Weather Ball, so it would get a fire. It'd get access to fire.
That doesn't really hit anything this week. That
it doesn't really hit anything in this other than Rillaboom, but
Air Slash does probably
Air
more.
Slash, Stab.
Yeah, well, in the sun, I don't think it would. Maybe.
Well, so Weather Ball in the sun is base power 100.
Yep.
Air Slash is base power 75 with Stab, so what, 90?
75 times 2. I don't know.
But it's also got a high crit ratio, I believe, huh? Or something like that. It's got another effect.
Flinch.
Flinch, okay.
I think Tyler wins this week, though.
I think there's a lot more pluses on the right side than there is the left side for this one, so I'd have to give it to the right side.
Yeah. The Zygarde plus GU plus, I feel like the Glade just kind of go in offensively. So
Mega Glade gets Poison Jab too, right?
I think that and Iron Head.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that answers Sylveon.
I mean,
Night
even
Slash for Necrozma.
Knockoff.
Night Slash with the Sharpness.
Well, Sharpness is only pre-Mega though.
Oh, what's its ability after?
Like Inner Focus or some stupid shit.
Oh, some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, the Knockoff obviously better.
Homie's just carried by his base stats. 110 speed, 165 attack.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a 3-0 or a 2-0 from the right side.
I think it'll be close for sure. I don't think it's gonna be like one-sided at all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the last matchup. Alright, so this is my matchup. I don't want to spoil too much of it. I haven't thought about it too much, but I have a couple of ideas.
Sure. Who do you think is coming then?
On his side, I think.
Or you don't have to say who you fully think is coming. You can give me about half the team then.
So Lopunny definitely comes.
Sure.
That thing is not fun.
Scrappy's just very good.
Yeah. Possibly the Roaring Moon, but I feel like Valiant checks him pretty well, so it's just kind of up in the air. I hate fucking Zygarde so much. But I feel like maybe Vanillux, especially since he's not Terra, kind of scares him off. Ferrothorn comes. Tapu Finney's looking pretty decent as well.
Sure.
I don't think it's very, I think it's going to be a close match. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, looking at it, I see. It looks like you have a few more pluses on the typing matchups. The Vullaby is a strange pick. I thought he had a whatever Vullaby evolves into.
He did, but he dropped it to pick up something else. The Roaring Moon, maybe.
I see.
I don't think the Vullaby or the Crocalor come, just because so many of my Mons reliably can run knockoff.
Well, Crocalor gets Unaware.
Yeah, but even then, without an Eviolite, it's so weak.
It is. I think the only reason Crocolore's there is for Unaware, because there's no Unaware on any other Pokemon there.
It kind of does stop Scizor, I guess, but I can play around it, I think, pretty easily.
Doesn't Lopunny get Blaze Kick?
I know it gets Fire Punch.
That's fine, too. Let's see here. I know you like your Hisuian Zoroark, so I know that's going. There's no doubt in my mind that it's not going.
It doesn't like Lopunny, though.
It doesn't, sure. But
Lopunny does not get Blaze Kick, just Fire Punch.
You have answers for Lopunny being Slowbro and Valiant.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. Maybe Zoroark comes. I don't know yet. Like I said, I haven't started Billy. I just have ideas.
So Toad's top end is Roaring Moon and Lopunny, and then low top end is Tapu Fini Zygarde.
One thing I will say, compared to like when I used Zoroark in the past, like the rest of my members, like my top like 6, maybe 7 were really good, and then I had like 2 really crappy members. My whole team here is very good, so like I don't think Zoroark comes as often as it has come.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. You have a more concise team rather than spread out on that points.
Yeah. Meowscarada has a really good matchup besides the Ferrothorn, but I have other answers to that. There's like some mons on his team that counter him on my team perfectly, but I have so many other things to like deal with those.
Vanillux is your counter to Zygarde, sure. Your counter to Tapu is Meowscarada. Your counter to Ferrothorn is Rotom. Your counter to... Yeah. And then vice versa. Toad's counter to Valiant is Ferrothorn.
The thing with Valiant, and this isn't just this week, this is every week, is like you got to figure out if I'm running mixed, physical, or special. That's a huge call you got to make each week.
Yeah. What is Roaring Moon's Terras?
I think Dragon Steel, but hold up. Wrong document. Darken Steel.
Darken Steel. Got it. Maybe. I think it'll be a 2-0U, but I think it will come down to a few good rolls for you and maybe a few bad rolls for Toad. I think it'll be probably 40 turns at least.
I gotta play careful around the Zygarde.
I think it's gonna be a lot of switches and then seeing who gets the momentum. I don't think first kill will happen until turn 10 probably.
Yeah, there's not going to be any early casualties at all. Both of our teams have enough bulk to live for a little while.
I agree. Now the thing is, if it's a Zygarde that sets up, then
yeah, that's the biggest concern, is because like I do have an Unaware mod, but my Unaware mod doesn't like 1,000 arrows.
Right, it doesn't.
But I think Slowbro also can handle itself pretty well.
I mean, we witnessed it in Feathers and... Or was it your matchup?
No, it was Cprime's.
Cprime and Feathers. Because, I mean, both winners had Zygarde, so...
Yeah, because it's a great mon.
Yeah, I think it should be a couple more points than what it is, but...
Dude, I sat in a call with Tyler and Carlos, and I said, hey, this needs to be raised, and they both said, nah, it's good.
But that's just from our biased opinions, because we've been up against it, and we know that it can get out of hand. Whereas the Pokemon that are already in the tier that we're trying to move it up to are
are a lot more
reasonably
powerful. Yeah.
in that tier. Yeah, I think it's fine where it's at. I just don't like where it's at.
I don't either. And paired with Tapu Fini, that is some demonry.
Yes.
It does stop it from running glare freely, though, which is nice.
Yeah. I'd have to give it to you, maybe a 1 or 2-0 victory. I think it'll be a long match.
Yeah, I think it'll be close.
I think either party will be doing some calcs during, so...
I think this is, not to be like biased or anything, I think this is the best matchup of the week, though.
I think it is the best matchup of the week, like just for how even it could be.
Hell yeah! All right, let's move on to the Victini League rankings.
All right, so before I give any thoughts, what is that Sceptile's Terra?
Grass flying.
Grass flying, so it's gonna run unburdened acrobatics.
And it does speed tie with the Sneasel. They're both
the Sneasler,
yes.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a bit of a terrain war too.
Sneasler does get more move coverage.
Yes, but it does not like acrobatics.
I mean, neither does Sceptile. But I guess it would be Terra flying, so...
Yeah, and the Sneasler's not a Terra type.
Now, what would Sceptile just show up without an item, or...
Well, it can't do that. Unburden only goes off if your item is consumed.
The item's taken.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's why I said it's going to be a bit of a terrain war. And I mean, even for...
Right,
both
so
of
it's
them,
going to run Electric Seed.
They both got to decide if both come, assuming Froze does bring Coco and whatnot, they both got to decide, well, do I run the seed for my terrain or do I run the seed for the other terrain, because Sceptile would appreciate some grassy terrain from Rillaboom.
Right.
So Froze might run a grassy seed, but then if Rillaboom doesn't come, that's...
Right.
Corviknight also shuts down Sceptile here very well.
Yes, it does. And then Sneasler does it get shut down by anything here?
Slow King is like the best.
Maybe Mega Bayonet.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Sneasler doesn't get knocked off, does it?
I don't think so. I think it gets Night Slash.
Oh yeah, it does. It does get Night Slash.
The thing with I did mention Corviknight, but it doesn't like the Coco or the Moth either. But I mean that's just something
right.
He can play around because Slowbro doesn't like Coco either. Donphan handles both of those as long as Energy Ball doesn't come out from Moth.
Iron Moth could run Energy Ball, Fiery Dance, Sludge Wave, and Dazzling Gleam and take out most of this team. It'll only have trouble with Delphox.
And even then, Sludge Wave will hit
Helios.
pretty hard.
And Sludge Wave will hit hard, yeah, because of stab. But it has super effective against everything else.
Especially when you have Coco for the terrain as well.
I think it also gets Psychic as well.
It does.
Now, Slowbro is pretty bulky, so it might take a 2-hitter. Depending on how many Fiery Dances.
But it's bulky. It's very physically bulky. On the special side, unless he gets a Calm Mind or 2 up, I don't think it's going to be taking hits too well, especially with the electric terrain boost.
Right. Now does...
I think that as long as the Sneasler gets taken care of, Froze can win this game very easily.
Yes, I agree.
But
the Sneasler is the cheeky one here.
Yeah, it's the biggest threat.
It's just a matter of does Grassy Does Sneasler get grassy seeds or electric seeds? That's the big thing.
I mean, it's more reliable.
Or maybe it could. I guess it could get normal gym and fake out, so it can guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, even white herb close combat, since it outspeeds most of.
Right.
But yeah. I think that as long, like, Fury needs to play this in a way that he weakens the team and then lets Sneasler come in at the end. Because Sneasler can't OHKO everything at full. Like, he can't come in early game and do that. That's just not, you know. But if he weakens everything enough, it can
finish him off.
Yeah.
I think what happens is a 4-0 either side, depending on how Sneasler goes. I think Sneasler is the main difference here. What is Urshifu's Terra's?
I believe grass, water grass,
and then Salamence,
Dragon Fairy.
Yeah. I think Sneasler's the
win con,
the tipping point, the win con for either. So if Sneasler's gone, Froze wins. If Sneasler stays, can sweep. At the end, Fury wins. And I think it'll be a big victory, at least a 4-0 for either side, depending on how it goes.
I mean, I can see it coming back being just like a 1-0 at the end for Fury if he leaves everything, you know, but...
Yeah, I guess if...
Sacks everything.
Uses everything else and then Sneasler at the end, but...
Which might be the... If you don't run a seed, you know, if you run like the normal gym fake out or close combat, that would probably be the way to go to just weaken everything.
Yeah, bottom line, a win's a win regardless of how many...
Yeah.
How many Pokemon you have left, so... You could be 3-3 with a +15 or 6-0 with a +5. I'd rather be 6-0. I guess you can't be 6-0 with a +5, technically. 6-0 +6.
Rillaboom has a rough matchup, like, against most of the team, but the terrain needs to come just to shut down electric terrain.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, Rillaboom's gonna have a lot of pressure.
Just because Iron Treads and Iron Moth can utilize it.
And I mean, plus the grassy terrain shuts down Treads pretty well. At least the ground moves.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Look at the speed differences. Just off rip.
I'm also gonna be a little biased on this one, just because of the last season. I had Mega Swampert, and Mega Swampert wrecked everyone in this league.
But you also had a rain setter.
I also did have a rain setter, but I'm still showing a little bias. I do like the Mega Swampert. However, there is no rain setter, as you mentioned, so it doesn't make it as good. But on the other side, I do like a Dragonite. And I feel like Galarian Darmanitan could put in some work on this team as well.
Yeah, how fast? Because it's... I mean, you kind of are going to run Choice Scarf. You have to run a Choice item almost guaranteed on Darmanitan, right? So...
Yes.
I'm assuming Choice Scarf, it just fits, I think, this week very well.
I think Choice Scarf, you run an Ice move, and then if Heatran or Bisharp come in, you can switch out and whatnot. But I think... And then I believe it gets a fighting move too to deal with.
Yeah, I think it's superpower.
Earthworm and.
So
I think it's ice moves or.
Let me check Electrode. Not that matters as much, but So it can outspeed Dragapult running Adamant, but it has to run Jolly to outspeed the Electrode, max speed Electrode.
The Darmanitan?
Yes, with a Scarf. But if it runs Jolly, it gets a lot of EVs to play with as well. It has to run 164 Jolly.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, like there's not like the best switch-ins to, like, you know, if Cavalry can predict the move, yeah, that's one thing.
Yes.
But
yes.
Either way, like.
Yeah, there's a tough switch-in. I think. I think
That
I don't know.
Enamorous could be a little concerning if it starts to set up too much.
Yeah, but it's also weak to Darmanitan because
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I think Heatran...
and he's also got Golden Go there too. So
that is true. That is true. I think Heatran, Dragapult, guaranteed.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. Great Tusk doesn't look horrible.
Great Tusk does not look horrible. Galarian Slowbro doesn't look horrible.
Bisharp is alright too, if you don't look at the Chi-Yu.
Yeah. And the Chi-Yu's almost guaranteed to come. I think the Heatran runs Flash Fire to predict Chi-Yu fire moves.
And Flare Blitzes from Darmanitan.
Oh yeah.
Because they got a pretty big fire weakness with the Bisharp, Electrode, and Orthworm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing that's confusing me is the Knuckle Stack and the Torracat.
Knuckle Stack can be really bulky. Like, that one's alright, because even in, like, Smogon, that thing's like RU, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's decent with an Eviolite. The Torracat, I like, my original thought was like, yeah, it's an Intimidator.
I guess it's the Intimidator.
But Weirdeer gets Intimidate.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And here's another thing. This one's gonna blow your mind. Victini, or not Victini, I'm thinking Tapu Fini. Where's that? Just to make sure I'm not talking about my ass. Yeah. Terra Dragon.
Interesting. Terra Dragon and what else? What's its stab?
Fairy.
Fairy Dragon. Interesting, I have to say. And it Terra Blast with Dragon, so it's only strong against Dragon.
Which Fairy already,
yeah, exactly.
So my best guess, right, is that it was to take Grass and Electric moves.
Makes sense.
But even then, just go Grass.
Or... yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the Terra Dragon. And then I believe
especially with already having Dragonite there too.
Yeah. And then the Heatran is flying and the Electrode is ice.
Okay. So the flying to save itself from ground moves. And fighting. Ice to save it from ground and...
just to hit dragons, probably.
Yeah, to hit dragons.
I mean, Dragonite don't like no Terra Blast Ice.
I think Cavalry gets this one. I do like the Golden Go, Darmanitan, and the Mega Caesar, but...
see, this is the first time we're disagreeing, because I don't see how Cavalry wins this. I don't see a win con.
I think Great Tusk, Heatran, and Dragapult take it. I think Cleavor also comes.
Really?
As well.
Even with Mega Scizor around?
Even with Mega Caesar, yeah.
See, my problem with this right now that I'm seeing is Heatran is there to cover, I think, two different threats that do two completely different things. It switches into Scizor extremely well, and it switches into Chi-Yu very well. But I don't think it can do both, and I don't see how Cavalry handles one or the other. You know, like, how does he... If you run special defense for Chi-Yu, how does he overall handle the Bisharp? And if he runs...
Flash Fire takes its fire moves away.
But dark moves are still going to hit like a truck.
They could, yes. But I think that's where the Enamorous comes in. Or the Cleavor. Or even Great Tusk, I suppose. I think Cavalry takes this 3-0. I think Cavalry has I think Cavalry has the better matchup.
I see. Yeah, no, I still think Gamer wins this one. Just out of the pure power of his team, like.
Yeah. I think Gamer brings the top 6.
I agree.
I don't think Intimidators are coming. I don't think Cloudsire's coming. And Knucklesack's not coming either. I think
I could see the Clodsire. I don't see.
Well, with Galarian and Slowbro there's really.
What do you mean? It's super effective against that. I mean, they trade hits.
Yeah, they trade, but I think Galarian Slowbro.
I think Polt comes because of Clodsire comes because of Polt. Because Dragon Dance Polt,
yeah.
I think, can really go to town on Gamer's team.
Yeah, it can.
And Clodsire's I think a very good switch into Heatran as well. Like,
yeah,
amazing.
It is. I think yeah.
So,
Mega Swampert gets Ice Punch.
I don't think
Mega Swampert's coming. I think Cavalry should get a Rain Setter.
Dude, I've been saying that since the team was drafted.
I wasn't there for. I just had that whole thing on mute. I didn't care.
Thanks.
Well.
No, you're good.
it was gonna get done either way.
All right. Well, I guess let's agree to disagree.
I say 3-0 Cavalry.
I am excited to see this game happen.
There's a huge top end difference.
Yeah.
On this.
So Trey, when we went through and rated the teams, we rated Trey's team last solely off of the fact that his fastest Pokemon was an NFE.
Yeah.
And also has no Trick Room support.
Yeah. I'm confused by the Tatsugiri.
Yeah. I always forget that thing's a dragon. Like, every time I look at Trey's team, I'm like, wow, he doesn't have a dragon type.
Yeah, I'm confused. Trey has a good team if it was like a 15 and below draft.
I think the top 4 were great. Had some pretty good synergy, and then after that, I just don't really know. I think he spent too much on the top 4 as well.
I mean, even so, there's good picks down in the lower mid and
you just gotta find them. And like Ursaluna would have loved a Trick Room setter.
Oh yeah.
The Volcarona is Terra. Where's this at?
Terra Fire
and
probably.
Water.
Water? What?
Well, I mean, defensively for like just a setup, I think it's pretty all right.
I suppose.
I think that there were many, like Ursaluna would have loved a Terra type. Anything else really, and then the Sneasel is Poison Dark, which if you Terra that thing dark, you're now losing your grounded Poison type, which I think kind of sucks. And then here's another one for you. Ting Lu is Ground and Poison.
I can see that because it's toxic.
Yeah, like I get it. Like in the power rankings, I wasn't too sure about it, but I know in VGC, like Poison is very popular on it because it takes fairy fighting moves. And then the Avalugg is Rock and Fairy. The same thing, though. I think that there's other mons on this team that would have preferred the Terra type more than Ting Lu.
I agree. Taking Terras away, I think Bumblez has this one with Iron Valiant and Palafin.
And Torn also goes to town because the only thing that Torn doesn't like really is the Garganackle, and Palafin, Valiant, and even Sceptile handle that.
Yeah. The Hisuian Gudra's definitely going, just to help deal with
Lele.
And the Aegis Slash.
Yeah, if it's special.
Hey!
I think that Palafin has an amazing matchup here.
Yes, it does. If it's not the first thing out with a flip turn, then...
That's the best way to play Palafin for the most. Like, there's exceptions, because leading with it always does put you on the back foot, but getting it set right away also is fantastic.
Well, if you're also looking at the speed tiers, it ties with Volcarona, and then everything
it's faster
else is
than
slower.
literally everything else. Yeah.
Literally, so you can easily take off Jet Punch for something else.
Which even with Lele around, you don't really want Jet Punch because you can't.
Oh yeah, the Misty
click
terrain.
it.
Yeah.
Psychic terrain.
Yeah, whatever terrain it is.
I think Zoroark goes on a field day too if it disguises itself as like Ting-Lu.
Oh yeah. Because it gets flamethrower too, so it could take out that Aegis Slash.
Well, it would just hit it with a Shadow Ball.
Oh yeah, I guess so. It's Steel Ghost, not normal Ghost. The Aegis Slash.
Yeah.
I think Bumblez takes this one.
I agree. I think the speed alone really gives it to him.
The speed is the main factor. I think, especially without the Trick Room setter, it'll be hard. Especially with how hard some of these Pokemon hit that Bumblez has, that the speed.
And that's the thing is, like, the Tornadus can run Modest, Valiant can run Modest, Sceptile can run Modest, you know, like that. That's so much extra power that is gonna hurt.
Yeah, and then I think Bumblez takes this by at least 4-0, just because of the speed alone.
Yeah, Trey needs to pick up some form of Trick Room setter, I think.
Some Trick Room setter, yeah, just to make the rest of the team viable.
Yeah.
The Hisuian Sneasel, strange to me. Why is it the Terra? Why is it also the fastest?
Don't underestimate that unburdened Grovyle.
Well, I will underestimate it because it's not fully evolved, so...
No, I know. Its offenses aren't good at all.
It's, and not fully evolved Pokemon typically should have Eviolite anyway, and...
If it's unburdened, it can't run it. Yeah, I hope that, Trey can turn this team around.
Yeah, I hope it can be turned around, because... if it had the Trick Room setter, it would be a lot better.
It would be scary.
Garganacl would be stone, or what is it? Salt curing everything. Ursaluna will facade,
literally
destroy everything except for the Hisuian Zoroark.
And even then, I think it gets crunch.
Yeah, and then I think the Terras should change too. The Volcarona one is I mean, yeah, I understand the water, but I don't think Volcarona is going to be your sweeper on this team if it's your fastest Pokemon that's fully evolved.
Urshifu has a rough matchup just because of the Valiant.
Yeah, because this one's the dark fighting, right?
Yeah. Quad resist those dark moves. So yeah, we're giving it to Bumblez, but Trey, we want to see this team turn around because it has potential. I think you also need to get rid of the Tatsugiri. Just totally ignored that thing the entire. We talked about everything, even the Grovyle. Didn't even look at the Tatsugiri.
Well, that's because Tatsugiri is Tatsugiri. There's better water dragon types.
So many better ones. All of them are better.
There's only two.
Walking Wake, Palkia.
Well, I mean, two in draft. It's Kingdra and Walking Wake.
Yeah, well, my point stands. It's the worst one.
Yes.
So the two teams that both don't have steel types are oh, I didn't change the names. Hold up.
Staarii and Gngrguy. Interesting.
So at least Chen Pao doesn't have as easy of a matchup this week as it does in the Mew division.
Yes, that is true.
Because Zera Aura does a pretty good job of shutting it down.
Yes, that is true as well. And Zera Aura also has a pretty good matchup this week.
It does. 100%.
The only outlier being Gastrodon.
Oh, that gets Grass Knot. I was going to say Mega Venusaur.
It does get yeah, but it also gets Blaze Kick.
But Thick Fat.
It gets Thick Fat. That's right. Huh. The Kamala is interesting. The Terra Vespi Queen. I hope to see that.
It is actually, because we talked about that. I think this was one of the conversations that I had muted when me and Carlos recorded. But we went to town through Gngrguy's team. Like, not in a bad way, but like we went to town talking about Kamala for some reason. And then Vesmiquen's Terra Steel. It is his only Steel type.
What about Baxcalibur and Lilligant?
The Chimpao is also, I think, electric. Yeah, dark electric. And then
interesting.
The Baxcalibur is Dragon Ground, and the Lilligant is Grass Ghost.
Grass Ghost. Okay, so
Shedinja doesn't come this week.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I want to see a week where that thing comes. That'd be great. I doubt it will, though.
Staarii has a good team. The Gliscor is great. Great defogger.
Very good, yeah. A very good Stealth Rocker as well.
I think Slitherwing comes just as a
check to the
first
Chimpao.
Impression user to the Chimpao. That way Zera Aura is freed up a little bit.
Yeah, it also hits a lot of other things pretty hard.
It does. It does.
Just gotta watch out for the Zapdos.
The Zapdos and the Gastrodon, I think, are the biggest. I guess the Mega Venusaur.
I think this is gonna be a pretty even, like a 1-for-1. Like, they're gonna do a lot of trading in terms of mobs.
Yeah, I think so. I think once one gets in, the next one comes in and takes out and revenge kills, and
yeah,
I think whoever gets the first one ends up being the winner. Just because they have an answer to whoever kills.
Galarian Slowking looks pretty good too, besides the Chimpao.
I think the Galarian Slowking.
Even Mega Diancie isn't horrible. Not my favorite, but
Mega Diancie is good. The glaring Steel weakness is, but
there's no Steel type on.
There's no Steel types, exactly. Does Gastrodon get Flash Cannon?
I don't think so.
I'm looking right now. It does not. Okay.
Nope.
It seemed like something it would have. Yeah, Annihilate has, I think, the best overall matchup for Gngrguy on this, and then Galarian Slowking has the best overall matchup.
Yeah, that Annihilate can come in and just like take up some hits pretty easily, and then you have the Screamtail to Wish Pass very easily this week.
Rage Fist is just very good.
With no normal type either.
Exactly. So
Staari's best resist is Absol, and that doesn't want to take a fighting move like a Drain Punch.
Yep. Yes.
I don't know who to give this to though.
I have to give it to Gngrguy.
I was gonna say Gngrguy.
The Screamtail Annihilate combo. I think the Wish Passing to it can just help it survive, and Drain Punch on Baxcalibur to take it out.
I think it's going to be very, very close, though.
Poison Jab for Diancie, Rage Fist, Earthquake, I think it...
I mean, I feel like Annihilate probably gets a Steel move, right? Yeah,
I don't think
it gets Iron Tail.
Iron. Yeah, with what tail?
Did you never see? Do you remember that old Pokemon game, Pokepark? Or
Oh yeah.
yeah, there was a meme from there. There was you could teach like your Pikachu moves, and there was a Primeape that was like, I mastered Iron Tail without a tail.
Right, right.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I think Annihilate is the win here. It has a way to deal with it all.
Yeah, it doesn't like die to anything easily unless like you switched it in on like a Moonblast stupidly from DNC. But like everything else just chips it.
Moltres might get it with an Air Slash or something, but
Yeah, but Zapdos switches. I mean, even Gastron switches it very easily. I'm excited for all of these matches. I'm just excited for this to start and these games to begin.
yeah, I have to give it to Gngrguy. I think it'll be a 2-0 or a 3-0.
What I think it's gonna be like 1 or 2, like very close battle.
I think it'll be close. I think Annihilate will take enough hits to where Rage Fist just starts OHKOing everything.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's nothing.
And then it'll get to that point because Annihilate is faster than
a lot of the team.
A lot of the team and tied with, so.
Yep. All right. Well, that was our Pickems for week 1 of the VDL. If you're interested in doing this with me next week, either comment it or let me know on Discord. Either or. I want to try to get different people each week if possible. I know it's not always possible though. So I want to thank Cuddles for coming in here, hanging out with me for the last like hour-ish and doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so with all that, good luck to everyone in their battles this week. Hopefully RNG is on your side. Unless you're my opponent. No offense, Toad. I really want to win. And
Cprime, yeah, we don't. We want you to be the first to lose with the Moss.
I wonder who will be the first team to lose to the Moths, especially if one of them like starts upsetting Quiver Dances. Like to actually physically lose to the Moth would be probably the worst thing, especially something like Dustox or.
Yeah, I'm never gonna bring Dustox. I can guarantee you that. It doesn't have enough coverage like the other Moths do.
I mean, that's fair.
I was putting it in a box on Showdown just so I could have it and I could just copy paste to a team and then change the team, but Dustox just does not have a good move pool.
Gets like a couple like psychic moves outside of its stabs.
I think its best bug move outside of Leech Life is Silverwind.
Does it not get Bug Buzz?
I don't think it does.
No way.
Either that or I just scrolled on past it.
He gets Bug Buzz. Yeah, you're good. Imagine, though, Silverwind was the best move. Alright, well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.